game. So
under 12 seconds to go. Georgia Tech pulling away from Georgia. We'll keep track of that score, but time for the other Bulldogs. Gonzaga, the tip. The season starts in Spokane. Here's Sam Adams and Richard Fox.
And we are underway for another season inside the kennel. So the Hornets with the basketball first. Tiffin up top. Hands off to Demps, who's one of the top defenders from the elbow down low. Studeville out of the double team, tries to get the ball out. He does. It goes out of bounds, and Gonzaga creates a turnover right out of the shoot.
Nice hard double from Wiltshire. Big to big doubling. You want to force Studeville and Tiffin to be playmakers on that low block. And right there you see he struggled with the double team. That's a nice early turnover for the Bulldogs.
Gonzaga immediately gets it down court. And we get a lot of different looks here, folks. So many different weapons to choose from, but it starts with that backcourt of Pangos and Bell.
You talk to the staff, Sam. With all the newcomers, there's some apprehension about how they're all going to come together, but when they really boil it down, having both Pangos and Bell in that backcourt gives them a lot of peace of mind.
Wiltshire lowers the shoulder and is able to draw the foul. First on Alex Tiffin, the senior center, the only transfer on this Hornet squad, a team that has been well known for having transfers, but boy, oh boy, he's the only transfer out of UC Davis.
It's been a nice find for him. Started 29 of 30 games last year. Nice big body. Plays very, very hard.
Karnowski, the nice pass out to Bell. Inside, Wiltshire right hook, no good. So first shot attempt, no good for GU, and Sacramento State has the ball. Demps from the elbow, down low. Blocked Studeville, and the foul. That'll be on Wiltshire.
That's the right call from the official. Nice pass over the top from Demps, and Wiltshire coming over. Max Studeville going up, but I like the pace that Sacramento State's going to try to play today. They're going to look to be opportunistic in transition if they can, but they really want to force the Bulldogs to guard defensively, try to limit the number of possessions. And so far tonight, Sacramento State has not felt rushed. They've had a nice pace to themselves on the offensive end.
Studeville, a sophomore out of Orangevale, California. Missed the first, makes the second.
And they like him. They like him quite a bit. Last 8 games of the year last year, 20 minutes per game, nearly 10 points, a little over 4 rebounds a game. He really came on strong towards the end of the season.
Pangos adding to his illustrious resume, several preseason awards. More on that later through the broadcast. That is Wesley, the nice touch off the glass for 2.
Right there, just created his own offense. It's something the staff really likes about Wesley. He's just a scorer. They don't have to call a lot of sets to try to get him the ball. He just has a good feel for when an opportunity presents itself, and he's able to finish in a variety of ways right there. A nice looking flow.
Tiffin, off the glass, no good. Karnowski had the rebound momentarily. The putback, no good. Tiffin off the glass, that one no good, and Gonzaga finally wrangles it in. Bell now streaking down the floor, off the glass, will not get the and one, but he'll go to the line shooting 2.
Well, Sacramento State has to love the effort on the offensive glass. GU able to come up with that defensive rebound, and that's an error we saw in the exhibition, and an error we'd like to see from Gary Bell is to look for his offense, not only on the half court, but hey, you get the ball in transition, you can bring it up, you can look to be a scorer right there. A nice little take to the rim, gets himself to the free throw line.
Junior misses the first, and our first look now at Domantas Sabonis, the highly touted freshman, folks, out of Lithuania. Really excited to see what this young man can do when he pairs up with Karnowski down low. That is going to be a lethal combination.
Well, both of them lefty, which is tough enough anyway and unique enough.
Karnowski trying to get the putback, won't go, and finally Tiffin with the rebound. So Gary with a couple of uncharacteristic misses at the line. Still a 1-point ball game in the early going. Demps on the drive, nice move. And Sabonis called for the foul, much to the bemusement of Mark Few.
A nice look there from Demps. He's been great to start the game. Not much of a shooter in 2 years here at Sacramento State. 23% from the three-point line, but he's excellent at getting to the rim.
Demps at the line. Time now for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort.
Well, we saw it right away. Sacramento State group rebound effort on both ends, and then in transition, they have to get back and force Gonzaga to score in the half court.
Demps converts on both.
And for GU, get paint touches early. Doesn't have to be to your bigs, just dribble penetration, touches in the paint, and you got to guard the three-point line. This is a good three-point shooting team in Sacramento State, led by Garrity.
All right, Zag fans, Northern Quest, his Rise and Shine package includes one-night stay and $20 towards breakfast at Maslow's, Spokane's own AAA four-diamond restaurant, starting at $129. Visit northernquest.com. Restrictions apply. So Gonzaga empty-handed on that possession, still down by one with 17 minutes to play in this opening half.
Good patience. The Hornets, they don't like what they have early. They're going to run their offense, forcing the Bulldogs to guard defensively deep into the clock.
Garrity just kind of threw that one up there, and it went in.
That's what he's going to have to do tonight. With McKinney out of the ball game, he has to be aggressive on his touches, much more of a playmaker than a scorer.
Whoa, there's a nice drive and finish along the baseline for Wesley, who has accounted for all of Gonzaga's points.
Both teams doubling in the post.
Baseline jumper no good from Studeville.
Both teams doubling the post, Sam. That means there's opportunities away from the ball if you cut to the rim.
Pango saw an opening momentarily, put up the shot from the baseline, no good. He goes to the line now. And Demps, who is the team's go-to guy on defense, picks up the foul. He'll head to the sideline, and in comes Marcus Graves, the freshman out of San Diego. For the foul before the shot, no continuation. Pangos, baseline off the inbound, his first basket of many for the season.
Nice set out of bounds. Pangos comes off two screens.
Tipping handing off. Garrity back up top. He's working around. Hornsby in the paint, right-hander. It's high and in. Back and forth we go. Sacramento State with a one-point lead. Wesley knifing through, will not get the shot. He'll go to the line. Folks, we're going to take our first USC.
And a highly sought-after transfer. A guy graduated in 3 years at USC. Played 94 career games, averaged 34 minutes per game. So a wealth of experience, but played in big environments. And when you talk to him about why he chose Gonzaga, it was for two reasons. One, continuing his education, and two, he wanted to win. And when he looked at all the programs he could consider, GU fit the bill on both those fronts.
Say it's amazing when you think about it, Foxy. He's able to play right away after playing last season for USC, completing his undergrad in 3 years as a junior.
I need
it's
5
unbelievable.
years, buddy. Think about that.
Don't we all?
5 years and 3 years for grad school.
Hey, he
almost
may be
8 years of college. There's no place like campus life.
He may be the smarter guy, but you have made the better choice probably. 5 years of college better than 3.
Absolutely.
Here's a steal now. Sabonis ahead to Gary. And he cannot lay it in. Wesley puts it back in for two. Gonzaga has a 3-point lead.
Wesley, not just points, but led the Trojans in rebounding. A phenomenal rebounder. Think about what Gonzaga has at that 3 spot, Sam. They've got Wesley and Dranginis, two high-level rebounders in your backcourt. And right there you see, doesn't quit on the play, doesn't assume a make, gets himself an easy 2 points on the tip.
Garrity now looking to answer. Got stripped. Bell took it out. They got a 3-on-2. Bell puts it off the glass and in, and give him a basket and a one. A chance at a 3-point play the old-fashioned way for Gary Bell Jr. Timeout taken by the Hornets. Out of Sacramento, founded in 1947. Did you know famous alum Tom Hanks?
He's an actor, right?
I've kind of heard of him.
Oh, yeah. I love his stuff.
Forrest Gump.
Apollo 13.
Yep. Others.
I like Captain Phillips, personally. I thought that was good.
Hey, how about this? Gonzaga, 3 of 3 from Wesley so far from the field. He hasn't missed. Coming off that big 15-point performance in the exhibition game. That was a team high. He's Sabonis picked up right where he left off. So the lead stands at 6. Studeville up top, defended by Karnowski. Love to see him stretch the floor a little bit.
Much better defensive pressure for GU. The last couple minutes, the Hornets have been much more uncomfortable offensively than they were to start the ball game.
Demps with 1 on the shot clock. And no good. And it'll be Gonzaga basketball. That is now 3 turnovers for Sacramento State in their last 3 possessions.
And if you're Sacramento State, you've got to handle this pressure, slow down a bit offensively.
Well, there's another guy. I mean, you can make a laundry list of the guys we're excited to see this year. Josh Perkins, maybe one of the highest touted recruits Gonzaga has ever gotten out of high school. Josh Perkins making his debut now in the regular season.
Well, 25 points a game as a junior in high school, a ton of hype, and then he goes to prep school and kind of falls off the radar a bit because he played on such a great team. You said it, Tim, one of the more highly touted, quite frankly, one of the better players they've ever brought into the program.
Sabonis off the feed from Karnowski. That's a combination we could see more of this season.
Lefty to lefty, high-low. I like to see that.
Pick your poison, folks. 8-point advantage, 15-7. Gonzaga just inside of 14 minutes. Perkins helping spark a 9-0 run right now. Coming off the bench. And I don't know, if you go from the A unit to the so-called B unit, I don't see any drop-off. There's a turnover now. Wesley with it. The feet ahead. Pangos, the finish, and 1. Are you sure this is a season opener?
Well, I'll tell you what, as we look at the defense again, Wesley right in the mix of things. Getting it done on both ends, and just a simple drop off to Pangos and a nice finish from your point guard. The energy level has really ramped up since that first immediate timeout. And that's what you want to see with the depth you had. You shouldn't have any excuse or drop off with effort on the defensive end and on the glass, and we haven't seen that in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Pangos converts to stretch the lead to 11. Gonzaga started the game 1 of 4 from the floor. Since then, 6 of 7.
2 of those have come in transition.
Wesley buzzing around on the Hornets defensively, and the foul is called. The low block, that will be against Drayon Barlitz. How about the points off turnovers, Foxy? Now 10 for Gonzaga to Sacramento State's nothing.
And that's a question I have coming into the year for GU. With the depth they have, undoubtedly the most athletic team they've had in that backcourt. When you look at Perkins, Wesley, Dranginis, McClellan when he's eligible, is this a team that can step it up on the perimeter defensively? I think this team has a chance to be the best backcourt defensive team this program has ever seen, and we've seen it so far early tonight. Excellent pressure on the perimeter.
Wesley can't get that one to go. Sabonis, the left hand hook and in off the rebound.
Just has a nose for the ball, hard worker, excellent hands. He is going to be alone as he continues to get comfortable with this style of play. He is going to be a force for GU off that bench. Really another starter coming off your bench.
Demps way off on the turnaround. Sabonis the rebound. Pangos pull up 3. No good. And Demps gathers the rebound. Back to Sabonis. I don't know if there is a more polished player as a true freshman in the country with the experience that he has. Foul called. As Sacramento State will go to the free throw line.
Pangos trying to step in and draw the charge in transition, gets called for the block. But Sabonis is, what I like about him is he's so unique. He's skilled. He plays with such an edge to him, though. He really it reminds me a little bit of Spangler a few years ago, who's now with Oklahoma, kind of with that hard-nosed style around the rim, but he's got a lot of skill that they're not having to lean on much. He's going to be a really good piece for him off the bench.
The sharp shooting Kyle Dranginis coming off the bench now for the first time.
Another guy that's pretty nice to bring off the bench. I'll tell you what.
He can sharp shoot. He can wrestle the ball away. He'll get some steals. He can do it all.
Top 3 last year: rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Largely coming off your bench. It's an excellent piece. A guy who, like Sabonis and Perkins, is quite frankly starter level talent.
and a guy who can put together game-high points. He's that kind of guy, folks. Sabonis, a nice move. Can't finish, but he'll get some free throws as a consolation prize.
High-level move.
During that span going into tonight, your choices: Zags 1, 12, Zags 2, 14, Zags 2, that should be Zags 3, 10, and Zags 4, 11. You can text your answer right now to 27297. We'll have your answer later in the show. And Sabonis at the line makes the first.
Great lift off the bench tonight. 5 points from Sabonis, 2 rebounds. And what I think that there's a little bit of a disconnect with Sabonis in the sense that I think most fans here in the country, who are not on a second free throw, project or make assumptions as if he was a high school player coming out of the U.S. He was playing in the second best league in the world last year against grown men who were making a ton of money playing basketball, professional. So he was around professionalism. He was around high level competition. So I don't think his adjustment's going to be the talent he's playing against. It's more the type of game we play over here versus Europe. I think that learning curve is going to be accelerated and a quick one for him. And he looks awfully comfortable tonight.
He does. And does he have to adjust to the American game, or do these guys have to adjust maybe to the European style when they defend him?
He's going to have to adjust to how the game's officiated, a little bit of the pace of play, but I think that he's already looking awfully comfortable.
Wilcher up top, decides to hand it off. Sabonis, the strong take, does not go. Zach Mills into the ball game, gathers the rebound.
Boy, I'd love to see Wilcher pull the trigger on that.
Oh, Sabonis got a hand on it. Almost got the turnover. You know, Cody Demps has the ball right now, and I wonder, Foxy, he's the guy who always has to defend the opposing team's top player. I wonder who he defends. I mean, pick your poison.
You know, when Pangos is out, Pangos is going to draw the most attention from teams, particularly early on in the year. You're right. It's pick your poison defensively. Whoa,
this guy can shoot. We know this. Saw him in practice yesterday, folks. He has range. Reminded me in some ways of a guy named Jimmer Fredette. Remember him from the NCAA tournament. And Wilcher's got some range, too. Are they playing horse out there?
Wait, that's what Kyle does. You know, Kyle's improved in a lot of areas. One area where he kind of had the game figured out was from the three-point line. In 2 years at Kentucky, shot 39% from the three-point line. That's pretty unheard of for a power forward center.
Gonzaga whistled for the foul. And it's funny. With
Kentucky, only 1 rebound per 6 minutes. That's not an acceptable rebound rate for one of your main players around the rim. He needs to improve his rebounding, and defensively, can he guard players in pick and roll situations? Those are questions he has to answer, but so far so good for Kyle.
Ben's trying to feed it down low. Hornsby defended by Wilcher. Turn around and in. Nice move by Hornsby, the sophomore out of Irvine, California. Wilcher from the wing. That's 2 in a row for 33, Kyle Wilcher.
If he can set his feet and see the rim, he needs to shoot the ball from the perimeter. He is as good as anybody I've ever seen, let alone at GU, at stroking the ball from the three-point line and beyond. He has an incredible range to that jump shot. He needs to be very, very assertive. When he's got a good look, he needs to take it. That's a good thing for this Bulldog team.
I'm sure you saw the YouTube video where he knocked down, 70 of 75 shots unedited. That's legit.
In like 5 minutes.
5 on the shot clock. Demp's got to put it up. They're not going to get it off. Shot clock violation.
The defensive energy and the ball pressure has been really, really impressive for GU. And here he just sets his feet, just quick trigger. Already knows it's going in before he sees it go through the rim. But what's been really impressive to me here in the last 10 minutes or so has been the defensive energy, and you're starting to see that depth. What Coach Few can do is he can really bring in guys in waves on that perimeter, and that defensive intensity shouldn't really wane at all.
Bell says, I can shoot the rock too, just a little bit. Gary Bell Jr. He'll go down, folks. He's one of the greats here at Gonzaga. Drains that one. 31-14, the lead for Gonzaga. Hornsby bounce pass, 3 from the corner, rattles in and out, no good. Bell with the rebound. Oh boy, here we go. Dranginis No good, and a big push as Wilcher tried to get the rebound, pushed out of bounds. So Kyle heads to the line now in a 31-14 ball game.
It's remarkable, Sam. I know you saw Kyle when he first got to campus. A lot like Olynyk's transformation in the sense you can really see the difference in his body. He's much bigger. He's toned up, firmed up, and it's really going to help him around the rim. You saw right there on the rebound.
Third foul on the night for Hornsby. 32-14 now. Gonzaga, as Hornsby will have a seat. Wilcher knocks him down. Boy, I tell you, for Sacramento State right now, they are backpedaling right now. What's going on with this call?
So a little extracurricular after the free throw went in. Gary Bell's telling the official someone threw an elbow, and the officials are going to take a look here. Now remember, there's much more of an emphasis now on elbows, action above the shoulders. Let's take a look here. Free throw goes up. Gary Bell's here on your left side of your screen. And
yeah. So that's on Studeville.
Looks like they catch Gary on the second one. He caught an elbow, and while I'm surprised that was called, the second action there.
They just had a free throw. They waved that off, folks. Here's another look.
And we lose it there. But
as often will happen. You know, Foxy, you know, back in your playing days as well, it's always the guy who retaliates after the fact that gets caught.
Yeah. It's the second act that gets caught by the official. Well, the officials are going to take a look at it, discuss it, but going back to the game, how about the defense, Sam? I mean, it's ratcheted up. First 2, 3, 4 minutes of the game, Sacramento State awfully comfortable offensively after that first immediate timeout. The defensive effort and intensity for the Bulldogs has really changed.
And I don't see a weak link on the floor. There's not one guy you can go after who's not going to bring the defensive intensity.
Well, considering the depth they have, there's no excuse for you not to put forth the effort. And I think you're going to see that. You're going to see Bell's minutes and Pango's minutes decline some to not only, as you mentioned at the top, to try to help them stay healthy throughout the year, but you've got all this talent off the bench, and you don't want to see a drop-off in the type of intensity you can have on the defensive end. And so far, you're just getting a little glimpse of that.
And that's a great point, Foxy, because everybody talks about the depth here, where the point's going to go. Well, the bigger point in all of this is the defense, that everybody's playing full tilt all the time.
And you look at consistently teams that get deep into the tournament, rebound and defend at a high level.
Well, they have decided after reviewing the tape, they're still going to give the free throws to Dylan Garrity. So it will be a technical foul on Gary Bell Jr. Don't know the last time we've been able to say that.
I don't think I've never seen him get one in a game that I've been a part of.
Well, maybe the ball doesn't lie, folks, as Garrity misses the second.
And take a look here. Down on the left, it's that second push that the officials saw, and it's nothing.
But nothing.
But what the officials are trying to do is they're trying to control the action. They don't want things to get away from them.
Just getting an explanation there.
And they say they called a Class A technical foul. They reviewed the tape to see if they needed to call a flagrant foul. They decided they did not need to, so just a straight technical for Gary Bell.
We're inside of 9 minutes, folks. 33-15 here. Season opener for both Gonzaga and visiting Sacramento State, which is without one of its starting five here tonight. Mike McKinney. There's a three from Garrity. Dylan playing well. He had a stretch last year where they wanted him to shoot the ball more. He answered the call, and he's going to need to shoot a whole lot more here tonight. And he gets a steal here. Dylan Garrity in the top 5 in shooting percentage from three-point range a year ago for these Hornets. Moving screen call. It will be against Sacramento State's Zach Mills. So Dylan Garrity lighting it up here tonight. 9 points and counting.
2 of 2 from 3. We talked about the top, Sam. Where's Sacramento State going to find the scoring? With Garrity and McKinney, you had two lead guards that you could lean on late in clocks. Right now, they really only have Garrity. Who's going to be that second player to step up late in clocks and try to get you a bucket?
Wilcher, the long three, rattles in, 36-18. Garrity, you can tell he's thinking about hunting for that shot. When you got 6'10" Wilcher guarding you, that's a tough matchup. Three from the corner, way off the mark. Karnowski gets the rebound. Perkins wanting to set it up to Wilcher. He does. Right hook. Feathery touch from Kyle Wilcher, who's getting it done inside and out.
13 points, 4 of 5 from the field. Knocked down all three-point attempts he's taken. What an explosion on the offensive end for Kyle.
Did not expect to see Perkins flanking him on the other side, but still knifing his way through Eric Studeville.
And patience and strength there from your sophomore.
Karnowski moving and now heading to the line. Gonzaga rolling right along, folks. The lead is at 18, 38-20. Arby's real big fish fillet sandwich, and right now get 2 for only $5 at participating restaurants. Shimmick Karnowski is at the line, but the story right now, Kyle Wilcher, a man on fire in the last 3 minutes and 51 seconds.
You just don't see this. 13 of GU's last 16 points, all of those 13 come in the last 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Hadn't scored in the first 9+ minutes of the first half. An unbelievable showcase on the offensive end from the power forward.
We'll be putting together another YouTube compilation to upload later on tonight. The steal by Kevin. So here's Pangos. They don't have numbers, but here's a transition three. No good. Wilcher got a hand on it, goes out of bounds. And it will be Gonzaga basketball.
You know, Sam, that's a good look because Gary understands he's got rebounders coming down the floor. And you saw right there, Kyle not able to get the rebound, but by getting a hand on it, he creates a second possession for GU. So great recognition there for Bell.
Off the inbound. You know, Gary did that earlier in the ballgame. Long three from Wilcher, no good. Karnowski gets a left hand on it and finishes for 2.
Keeps it up after securing the rebound. So many bigs will drop the ball, get it stripped, or put themselves in a bind. Excellent job from your footer. Keeps it up off the offensive rebound. Easy 2 points on the putback.
Sacramento State head coach Brian Katz telling me earlier this week, there's no ball stopper on this team. Gonzaga's always moving the basketball. It never stops on the other end of 3 for the Hornets. Pangos now, the lay-in, for 2. And that's going to be another key. I know Coach Katz wants his team to get back on defense in transition. Karnowski whistled for the foul and 1. Count it. Studeville a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, this game all of a sudden has really picked up off of 2 made buckets. Both teams have been able to get to the rim. See here, nice spin move from Studeville. That's a foul. That's a good call from the official. And Karnowski does a decent job moving his feet, but he has his hands down. That's an easy call for the official.
So Shimmick will have a seat as Studeville tries to complete the 3-point play. No good. And Sabonis gets the rebound.
One lefty out, get another one.
Wilcher out of the double team, did the no look, went right into the waiting hands of Demps. Demps trying to finish, puts it up. And Gonzaga gets the ball now. Pangos on the outlet, whip pass in the corner. They get it back out, the extra pass. And Bell the handoff, the bonus, the finish. It's just not fair.
Well, this is something that's always been a staple of the program, but you see it tonight, it's as good as it gets. There's no ball stoppers. Everybody's moving the ball. It never sticks anywhere on the floor. Guys are so unselfish. They make that extra pass. You're going to get easy shots like that, and that's so difficult to guard. You talked about it earlier. Everybody on the floor right now for GU can score the ball.
Wesley lost the ball as Graves got it.
And we've seen it now over and over again. Defense leading the offense. A nice strip from Wesley. He's been all over the place defensively. Little drill penetration, easy dump down. And Sabonis has the toughness and the strength to finish despite a little bit of contact. And I can't tell you, Sam, how impressed I've been with Wesley tonight. He has done it on both ends, 3 or 4 from the field, already with 3 steals.
Wesley has been whistled for the foul, and Graves is at the line. That was a 1-and-1. Wiltshire picks up the rebound. Down low to Sabonis. You know, it's interesting. It was a 1-and-1 situation. Sacramento State didn't even have anybody. It almost seemed like they were caught off guard. They didn't know it was a 1-and-1.
I think they just want to give it right back. Quite frankly,
yeah.
I mean, just let's get back.
Concede the points.
It's unlikely we're going to get the offensive rebound. Let's make sure our defense is set on a make or miss.
Well, they figure, high risk. Get back on defense. That's what they did. Wiltshire, fall-away shot, good.
And that's an area I think you'll see Wiltshire has really improved. It's not that he wasn't able to do that before. It's just now he has the strength to stay on balance off that jab fake. And he's going to make a higher percentage of those types of shots. At times at Kentucky, he'd be off balance, didn't have the strength to finish those types of plays.
Wesley the steal. In transition, beautiful touch pass from Pangos. Can't finish. So Wiltshire no good on that shot on the other end, trying to stretch it quick. Graves, who's denied, out of bounds. Interesting here, Gonzaga.
Defensively, it's been one of the best efforts we've seen in this building in quite a while.
Points off turnovers, passing, the extra pass. I mean, that's high percentage shooting. It's reflected 58% from the floor after a 1-of-4 start. 58% overall.
Yeah, it's fun to play basketball this way. As a player, you've got unselfish people at all 5 spots. The ball moves quickly.
A little too quickly right there. Nunez into the ball game and turns the ball over.
Just a little miscommunication, but
you talk about how Gonzaga, I think Coach Katz put it perfectly when he told me earlier this week. These players at Gonzaga play for each other. There's no individuality on this team. Everybody's playing for that extra shot, creating, whether it's them or a teammate. They're always playing for each other. 3.5 minutes to play in this opening half of action. Kevin Pangos creating the steal as Wesley brings it up. Wesley, a little floater, no good. Nunez a hand on it. Out of bounds, and it remains Gonzaga basketball.
A tough shot there in transition, but again, Nunez gets on the glass, doesn't get the rebound, but by getting his fingertips on the ball, he keeps it alive a little bit longer. Sacramento State ends up hitting the ball out of bounds. It's an extra possession. Doesn't come up. He's not going to get credit for an offensive rebound, but in effect, it's the exact same play.
Pangos driving, nice throw, and little floater goes in.
He's finally having a pretty good game as well. 9 points now, 4 of 5 from the field.
So those alarmists wondering if Pangos was going to shoot less this year from what we saw in the exhibition game. It was an exhibition game.
Yeah, I think that's a guy who's played a lot of basketball. And here, let's take a look at the play. Nice screen from Sabonis, just frees up Kevin just enough, and he's really developed that floater game over the last 4 years. He's much more comfortable. He can finish after jumping on either foot. And that's a real weapon for an undersized guard. And you see right there, he's become very proficient with it.
Pangos at the line. This for 50 in the first half with 2:55 to play. And there's a look at Hornsby, who's been whistled for his 4th foul. So he's in foul trouble, and a team that's already experiencing some problems with depth. Going to get a whole lot thinner.
Sacramento State has 5 freshmen. They like all of them. All 5 tonight might get a real good taste of what college basketball is all about, because you mentioned it, Sam, not a lot of depth for Sacramento State.
Nunez with the offensive rebound to keep this possession alive. Inside the Sabonis, back outside. Kevin Pangos, a long, wide open 3 is good.
What a play. One dribble, sees the defense, collapses just enough. You don't have to give Pangos much room, and not only does he recognize it, but he delivers it right in the shooter's pocket.
Sabonis defending, and good Studeville right into a travel. And it all started defensively, not letting him get to the basket too close.
Defensively in the post, as you see right here, takes one dribble in, and the defense on the weak side, they lose sight of Pangos. And there's a lot of talent for GU. The one guy you don't want to lose sight of when he's hanging out around the perimeter is Kevin Pangos.
Hornets now turn the ball over in half of their last 10 possessions. Shot will not go in as Demps brings it up. Rayon Bartlett is looking for help here. Studeville through Sabonis, won't go. Second chance, no go. Loose ball, Nunez picks it up for GU. Oh, there's a lob. Sabonis the finish. Domantas Sabonis in his Gonzaga debut here in the regular season. Playing very well right out of the gate. Sacramento State with the ball 0 for its last 5 from the floor. Garrity has been very quiet here after the strong start to midway point, but hasn't done much here in the late session here. Perkins off the turnover. No go. Nunez almost had the follow. No good. Garrity ahead of Demps now. Demps right through Sabonis and Pangos for 2.
Sabonis is tired. He's holding his midsection. I think when he was playing that defense on Studeville, San Strat League, he was a little less than 17 and a half years old. That's unheard of. That's just a wonderful accomplishment for a very, very talented young player. He's going to have a very, very bright future, not only here, but beyond.
I mean, you can take that correlation. If you're the young kid on the block and you're playing against the older kids, how that elevates your game.
Absolutely.
Then take that, multiply that by 100. And that's a bonus his experience playing in Europe.
He's set up to have a tremendous freshman year, no doubt.
Inside of him, Wesley, a little floater off the glass is good. Boy, does he have a nice touch.
Man, doesn't he? He's got a great jab game. He can jab guys off of him, open up his three-point shot. Wonderful ball fake right there, just gets the defense off balance, and he seems to always be under control as he looks to score.
Perhaps another turnover. No, instead it goes right into the waiting hands of Garrity, who just air balls. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's like trying to make that catch in the end zone when nobody's around.
Yeah, and think about, you're late in the half here, 24 seconds left. It's a guy who's had to do a lot tonight, more than he's accustomed to doing. I think he's got some tired legs.
Gonzaga can hold now for the final shot. Shot clock off inside of now 15 seconds, where it has been all Gonzaga. Wesley wide open. Passes up that shot, back out to Perkins. Perkins, a no-look inside there. Karnowski back out. Perkins, wide open 3. Got it! To end the first half. The freshman. Glad you chose to stay with us here tonight. Sam Adams and Richard Fox for half number 2. Sacramento State will inbound to start the second half.
Well, Sacramento State, if they could slow it down a little bit offensively, in other words, they really got sped up by GU's ball pressure there. And later, for the majority of that first half, they started the game off well. They need to try to find a way to slow the tempo down a little bit if they can.
Demps on the drive, left hand, no good. Karnowski the rebound. Shimmick Karnowski now with 4 boards for the ball game. Well, he's been kind of the eye of the storm. He hasn't scored a lot. He hasn't shot a lot. But he's always a part of it.
Yeah, he's going to have an impact just anytime you're that big. And he's got 3 assists. He's drawn a lot of attention, and he's found the open man.
Wilton's just so smooth. I mean, just everything he does. That's just a three-point clinic. That one didn't go, but just so steady, fluid. Demps backing out now. They've got to get Garrity the basketball. 3 of 4 from the field in the first half, 9 points, 2 threes.
And they've got to move him away from the ball like this right there. It comes off down screen, forces Shimmick to come out. It opens up a look around the rim.
Bell with the basketball in transition. Wesley pulls up, no good. A charge called against Wesley, who's beside himself on that one.
Mark Few doesn't like the call either.
Boy, to Sacramento State's credit, great job getting back in transition.
And we didn't see that in the first half. They really got away from that. That was one of the keys to the game. When you talk to Coach Katz going into the ball game, he was really concerned about their transition defense, and they got away from getting back consistently there last 10 minutes of the first half. Right there, nice halftime adjustment, getting two guys back.
Hornsby, who's playing in foul trouble with 4, lost the ball, gathers, puts it back, no good, trying to get it again. Playing a little hot potato until Wesley finally comes up with it and maintains the dribble, but they say, was he out of bounds?
Yeah.
He was.
Similar to the first half. Right now the Hornets outworking the Bulldogs on the glass. You see Wesley trying to get up the floor, and his left foot, I believe, touched out of bounds. Good call from the official.
Well, the bottom line for the Hornets right now is they just have to put the ball through the cylinder. They're one of their last 11 from the field. They've also got to hold on to the darn ball. Bell for 3 in transition. No good. Wesley the rebound, but a foul called in the low block against Sacramento State. That will be against Studeville. So now Eric Studeville, the sophomore big man, has picked up his 3rd. So he's in foul trouble. Hornsby has 4. GU has the ball. No look. Nice feathery touch. And that's good. Shimmick on the assist from Pangos.
And it's going to be interesting to see how GU plays things this year, because Karnowski is going to be such a matchup problem for teams. He's so big. He's got some skill. And you've got so much shooting around him. So you're either going to double the low block and give up the 3, or you're going to let your defense play Karnowski's one-on-one inside. And if you do that, he's just too good. He's going to make you pay.
Wesley pulled up 3, no good. Karnowski got a left hand on it, went right into the waiting hands of Demps, who brings it up coast to coast off the glass for 2. Cody Demps, 6'4" junior from Elk Grove, California. Karnowski left hand, no good. Rebound by Tiffany. Fun playing with 4 fouls. Hornsby lost the rock, and a foul called in the lane. It'll be a reach.
Nice take here from Demps. Goes right at Pangos, and looks like Pangos gets a bit of the ball, but nice strength from the junior. Finish it for 2 points.
That'll be 3 fouls now on Wesley. On 3, Garrity. Fair miss. Wesley gets the rebound. Averaged better than 17 points per game last season as a junior at USC. Wilter cannot finish. Sacramento State gets another stop. Oh, it's like we're rinsing and repeating from the start of the first half. Gonzaga just seemed a little disjointed to start the second half.
It's taken them a minute here to get going. The pace of the game hasn't been what we saw there for the majority of the first half.
Oh, this might get it started. Pangos a 3 left wide open.
Hey, when in doubt, get the ball to your 2 senior guards. Nice 2-man action there on the left side of the floor.
It's almost easy to forget. I know how crazy that sounds.
No, I agree.
But to forget about that backcourt.
Yeah, there's so much to be excited about with the newcomers and what the other pieces you have in the backcourt. But at the end of the day, having 2 4-year starters to lean on, or rather 3-year starters, is an awfully nice luxury for Mark Few and his staff.
Pangos brings it up. Looks for Karnowski. It's just too easy. Off the right hand. That's a new element.
Yeah. I like the fact it was a quick move.
Whoa, did that go? It did. Garrity.
I'll mention big sky player, a phenomenal shooter from the perimeter, 43% for his career on over 330 attempts. So a guy who can fill it up. You can't give, like Pangos, you can't give him a lot of room. He'll make you pay.
There were only 3 shooters in the nation last year that shot the 3-point ball better than him percentage-wise.
And he's taken a lot of shots from the perimeter. It's taken over 2.5 a game, or rather almost 3 a game.
And he was the team's point guard for his first 2 seasons. As a freshman and a sophomore, they moved him off the ball as a 2-guard last year just to take the ball out of his hands and put it back in as a shooter. He answered that call, and they want more of that this season.
I think you're going to see that with Pangos. You've seen it throughout his career, but this year as well. Sometimes your best shooter, you want to get the ball out of his hands and let him work away from the ball off of doubles, single downs. And we've seen that with Garrity. We see that with shooters like Pangos as well. Nice
Sabonis,
pass.
no look. Dranginis tried to get it hard to the rack. He at least will draw the foul, but he nearly threw it down.
Goaltending. It looked like Hornsby came up through under the rim, Sam.
So he'll get the 2 points. He won't technically get the dunk, but he will get the 2. Look at that pass.
Both Karnowski and Sabonis tonight have done an excellent job of finding the open cutter. And that's something that GU's bigs are going to have to be aware of, is they're going to get doubled a lot, particularly early in the year. It's really pick your poison. You want to try to shut off that perimeter, or you want to try to double down in the paint. And so far tonight, Sacramento State's chosen to double, and GU's bigs have made them pay.
Well defended there by Angel Nunez. Ball going out of bounds. Sacramento State ball. Everybody on this team can and does pass the ball exceptionally well.
What I'm impressed with tonight, Sam, is you've got 7 new players in your program. You've played, 5 new guys tonight. It's like they haven't skipped a beat. This team tonight looks like they've played together for a long time. It's impressive to see how quickly guys have bought into the culture and have understood what the staff wants them to do on the offensive end.
Foul called on Pangos. That will be his second to go along with 16 points. Demps will head to the line. I don't think it's any coincidence that when we started the first half, that's when Sacramento State had its best chance. But then that lack of depth compared to Gonzaga. There aren't many teams in the country. I mean, there's no drop-off from 1 through 5 all the way down to 10. There's zero drop-off, and not many teams can say that.
I think you've got 2 guys at each spot that you'd be comfortable with starting in a ball game if you're GU. And that is where they have unprecedented depth in this program's history.
Sabonis back out. Perkins brought it back in. Angel thinks about it. No. Perkins now still 13 on the shot clock.
Looks like they dig Nunez on a moving screen there.
So Nunez will pick up his first with 14:34 to play.
Just a little overzealous. I like what he's trying to do there. Just moving a little bit. His arms are up by his chest. That's an easy call for the official. You need to make sure you're set. And part of that is on Perkins as the point guard. Allow your big to come over and set their feet before you look to use the screen. I think Perkins went a little early there.
No good on that shot from Demps. They'll get a second chance. You know, it's like when you're fishing. You got to wait for the hook to get in before you reel it in.
Nice.
Oh, good, because I never learned how to do it. Oh, Sabonis tried to go behind the back. Nunez gathers, and Dranginis will finish.
When it's rolling, it's rolling. Fortunate bouts for the Bulldogs, and so far tonight, it's hard to find anything on the offensive end, whether it be in the half-court or transition, that there isn't to like.
Nunez with the help on defense now. Studeville, it's the side of the backboard, no good. Perkins with it now. Looking down court. He'll set it up for Pangos. Pangos with the drive, the kick out. Dranginis for 3 from the corner. It's short, no good. Foul called against Dranginis.
Well, right here, probably shouldn't be bringing the ball up if you're Sabonis. Ball bounces right to Nunez. Easy layup for Dranginis. It is working today for the Bulldogs on the offensive end, and it's impressive. You know, when you talk to the staff, they've been a bit frustrated with the inconsistency that they've seen in practice on the offensive end. It's a little bit of feast or famine. There's some days where it's really clicking. They're really pleased with where they're going, and then they'll have 2 or 3 days where they seem to take a few steps back. This is a wonderful way to start your year, to be able to show your team some tape, game tape, of how this is the way we want to play. It's not about if the shot's going or not, Sam. It's about how you're playing on the offensive end. And right now, it's just been impressive to see how unselfish guys are with the ball.
And they've been high percentage shots. I can't count how many times. I don't know if we've seen any ill-advised shots. That one will go in from Justin Strings, a freshman out of Carson, California, who has found his way onto the floor for the first time. Sabonis the kick out. DeMontis, no good. McGinnis picks it up in the lane, no good. He's able to draw the line.
I tell you what, Nunez and Sabonis coming off the bench today have done a phenomenal job of keeping the ball alive on the glass. And that's a big part of what they want both those kids to do coming off the bench is high energy, be physical, pick us up defensively when you come in. But on that offensive glass, you don't necessarily have to actually rebound the ball. Just getting your hand on it, keeping that possession alive might allow one of your teammates to come in, scoop the ball up, and get the offensive rebound. Both those kids off the bench have done a nice job of that tonight.
They really have. As Dre Guinness at the line for shot number 2. 18 assists now for Gonzaga for the ball game, coming from 8 different players.
And on 27 field goals made. I mean, it's not just the fact that they're sharing the ball, but I mean, they're scoring. The majority of their buckets are coming off assists. Yeah, things are clicking, there's no doubt.
Travis Jackson lost the ball, and he finds himself on the floor for the first time as well. A sophomore from Santa Monica.
Look at the ball pressure.
Eight on the shot clock. Strings, off-balance shot. That's exactly what Gonzaga wanted. And a foul is going to be called on Hornsby. That will be number 5. And an early exit for Nick Hornsby.
It's been a rough night for Nick.
As he exits the ball game with just 4 points.
2 of 5 from the field, and a sophomore that they've got a lot of hopes for. You know, last year he struggled with his shot, but showed great energy. He's a great athlete, was a big-time volleyball player in high school, and we've seen some of that athletic ability here tonight. Just having a tough time picking up some cheap fouls early and has never been able to find a rhythm.
Cody Demps back on the floor for Sacramento State, which trails now 73-35. Tough task for his team coming out of the Big Sky Conference, which went 10-10. Oh, Perkins for 3. He finished the first half with a 3, and he's getting going now here in the second.
And you like to see that. I know coming into the year, the staff was a bit concerned as you see another nice take for Demps off that dribble penetration. The staff was concerned that he really lost a lot of his aggressiveness offensively this last year in high school. And wow, Bell hits another one.
Just like in the first half, everything's going in now.
Even on a make, you've got to get back if you're the Hornets. But my last point with Perkins is they really want him to remember how good a scorer he is. 25 points a game as a junior. When he gets the ball, he has to be more than just a playmaker. He's got to look to get some of his own. And it's been nice tonight to see him go up with confidence and go up quickly for those jump shots.
And how big is that experience playing on the other side? He's from Denver. He plays at Huntington Prep on the East Coast. I mean, talk about putting your big boy pants on. That's a big transition. 79-37 as we take a timeout. Gonzaga has picked up right where it left off. Perkins along 3, showing his range. And Bell says
competition on this floor is really going to go up. SMU's the real deal with Larry Brown, top 25 in the country. They've had lost some players heading into this season, but still a difficult game. St. Joe's, an excellent mid-major program out of Philly, has always played GU tough. And then Georgia, and either Minnesota or St. John's in the guard. And not only are those teams coming from big conferences, but that's a big stage. And it's always interesting to see how kids respond in the guard.
Gonzaga with the basketball. 11 minutes to play. Starters still in. And when I say starters, that could be anybody. The turnover. Gonzaga, I mean, boy, you can mix and match. A nice finish on the other end. So Drayon Bartlett with the basket. You know, the way the schedule lays out, at least the way I look at it, you can kind of formulate it to the NCAA tournament in many ways. Your matchup is going to be a little bit easier early on as far as the tournament goes. And you get round after round after round. They're basically going to be playing the NCAA tournament in some ways over the next couple of weeks.
Well, as we get Wesley going to the free throw line with a foul on the ground, pardon me, the ball's going to be underneath. You're right, and that's the whole. I mean, that's really what GU's built their reputation on, is trying to find NCAA tournament level teams to play against. I believe 14 teams on the schedule this year either played in the NCAA tournament or NIT last year, so a very good schedule.
Wesley, the nice finish, boy. His night continues. He has 12 points to go along with 6 boards.
Big time block from the big fella. Wow. Tarnowski coming over and We haven't seen that yet. You think you get by Dranginis, Karnowski comes over, that's a nice block, and he's shown that ability. 73 blocks coming into tonight in 70 games in his career. He's been a nice rim protector for GU over the first 2 years of his career.
Karnowski stretching out the defense a little bit here. 10 minutes to play. Got to get it to Garrity. He's up top. Out of the double team. Demp's now in the lane. Ball goes out of bounds. All 8 of Gonzaga's field goals here in the second half have come off assists.
There's really only a couple miscues towards the end of the first half. Munoz threw it away. Miscommunication with Wesley and Perkins earlier, a couple possessions ago, turned it over. Really the only 2 unforced errors for GU tonight.
Wesley with a strong baseline take as he heads to the free throw line, shooting 2 on Studeville's 5th.
I'll tell you what, they say Wesley's 6'4", 205. I don't believe it. He's a big kid. I mean, he takes the ball to the rim. He can absorb a ton of contact and still get the ball up to the rim.
So that depth being tested even more now. Second player to foul out here early in the second half. Already got the bad news that Mike McKinney, the team's leading scorer from last season, an all Big Sky first team selection, will be suspended for this game, violation of team rules. So he misses this game. They have to dig even deeper now.
Well, and it changes how they want to play. Now you only really have Garrity, who's a guy who can create his own shot. You had 2 with McKinney, which makes your offense so much easier. And it shifts everybody's role. And all of a sudden you're asking a guy like Cody Demps to be more of a scorer than he'd like to be. And it really trickles down. And you've seen for Sacramento State, a few of these players, they just look uncomfortable trying to make plays with the ball.
A stellar debut for Gonzaga's newcomers here this evening. And it goes back to the depth. That's the one thing Mark Few will acknowledge with this team. He doesn't like to dole out too much credit, especially early on when everybody's talking about the hype, but he will rave about this team's depth. So that will be against Sacramento State's Alex Tiffin. That will be his 3rd.
And that's what makes this team unique. They don't have an Olynyk, Morris. They don't have that top player, a national player like that, a lottery pick. But what they have is they have 10 very good players, and they're all skilled. You've got scorers that you can put out there on all 5 spots on the floor. That has not been the norm for GU. You usually have 1, maybe 2 guys out there that are secondary scorers. You've got primary scorers at all 5 spots.
Very nearly another turnover. That would have been the 19th. Foul called instead on GU. That will be against Karnowski.
And think about it.
He picks up his 2nd.
Pardon me, Sam. Think about it. You've got Wilcher, Wesley, and Eric McClellan, who's coming from Vanderbilt, who will be eligible in January. These aren't just transfers. These are impact transfers. The programs would like to get 1. GU's bringing in 3 guys who were primary players on some really good teams in big leagues.
To go with a team that was already rock solid.
Yeah. And a great, it's definitely a year where I think big expectations are appropriate.
Tiffin, the only transfer, meanwhile, for Sacramento State, misses the 2nd there. Loose ball. Wilcher lost it, outnumbered, and he'll pick up the foul. So Wilcher with 15 points thus far, and now 2 fouls. And Dylan Garrity heads to the line. I'm really surprised. I mean, Garrity, the first half he had, the fact that he's only put up 6 field goals attempts for the ball game.
Only 2 here in the second half, but you better believe the staff said number 5. That's our primary concern, and there's been a lot more of an effort to get up into him on his catches, not nearly the amount of time that he had in the first half to catch and shoot.
We'll get that one. 40-point ball game, 81-41.
Still, you can see where Sacramento State can be with McKinney in the lineup. Demps with 10 points, Garrity with 13. They've got great backcourt play when all 3 of those guys are out there on the floor.
Perkins had a nice no-look pass inside to Karnowski. And a foul call on Tiffin. That will be his 4th. so in danger of yet another Hornet.
You're going to see Justin Springs, freshman out of Carson, California. You're going to see Eric Studeville's younger brother, Mason, coming to the game here at any moment. As you see, the offensive rebound on the free throw, and Wilcher gets himself to the line. But this is still a valuable point in time for Sacramento State, and quite frankly, GU's got a lot of new players. Despite the fact the game's a 40-point game, it's important that Wilcher and Wesley get more time on the floor, not only for themselves, but playing with their teammates in a game environment. And for Sacramento State, guys are having to play a little bit out of their comfort zone, but that's not necessarily a bad thing when you're looking to play in a Big Sky tournament here in March. So still a lot to be gained for both teams here, despite the score.
You mentioned Wilcher as he makes at least the back end of the free throws attempted. Over his last 5 now from the floor. He needs to ride through that a little bit. So, yeah, it was great where he had that great stretch, but he needs to have time on the floor to refine that shot here and grind through things. Things that he'll find out here now after sitting the season out and, kind of shaking the rust off a little bit.
I transferred. It took me about 7 games to just feel comfortable again and not comfortable with the speed of the game, my conditioning. He's going to go through that process. I mean, he's a much better player than I ever was, so it tells me transition will be a little easier. But you're absolutely right, Sam. You need some time on the floor.
A little long on that pass, but Karnowski gathers it nonetheless. Out of the double team, Bell for 3. No good, a little long.
Still, good basketball. Paint touch, force the double, and a great look for Bell off the nice feed from Karnowski.
Mills, who was left wide open on the 3 in the last possession, still didn't make it. I think Gonzaga said, go ahead. You can shoot away, my friend. He missed on the last attempt. Wilcher down low as he tries to get back on the roll. He rattles that one home.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see more from Kyle. It's more balance to his game. He's clearly got the ability to shoot the 3-point shot, pick and pop. He's got a little handle to his game. We saw the step back in the first half, but he has to have that balance where he can catch the ball in the paint, back to the basket, and make teams pay. And tonight we've seen it's not necessarily consistent, but you see he's got that ability now, much more so than he did before.
Bell the rebound, foul on a warm 30.
Oh, man.
Gary Bell Jr. at the line now in the double bonus. He will shoot 2 with just over 7 minutes to play in this season opener. Bright smiles of the game being brought to you by Delta Dental. Zag's healthy smiles are in. A lot of smiles here this evening. Be sure to find your favorite dentist at deltadentalwa.com. Ensure a healthier mouth for life. Even Mark Few is smiling. Delta Dental of Washington, proud supporters of healthy smiles and your Gonzaga Bulldogs. Inside of 7 minutes, a game that has been all Gonzaga, frankly, as expected. Garrity on the drive. Sabonis defended very well there. Held his ground, put up 2 arms, and stopped him in his tracks. Perkins regathers. Oh, man, this kid can dribble. Open 3. No good. And look who's found his way on the floor. Connor Griffin, sophomore forward out of Lake Oswego.
All I want to do is see Connor in a fast break situation after we call that Thompson Rivers exhibition. I've seen him practice dozens of times. I've never seen him do that. That was impressive. He's got some athleticism. A kid who really could be playing football at a pretty high level, but has chosen to be a walk-on here at GU. Loves the school and loves being part of the program. Really does everything. Reminds the staff a lot about Mike Hart. Mike really started his career the same way. Just a utility guy in practice. Took a lot of punishment, and an opportunity presented itself. Mike Hart took advantage. There's no reason to think that Connor couldn't do the same at some point.
Off-balance shot by Demps. Interesting to know, hey, Mike Hart's still in town, which is great to see. On staff now, the video coordinator. That's something you never did you?
No, they keep me away from electronics, Sam, as much as possible. Surprised they even let me have the headset here in the little box that we got.
We keep a backup just in case.
I see that. There's always 2. There's a spare right in front of me.
Perkins with the basketball over to Trent Guinness. Nunez on the floor as well. Good look at the second unit here. In the situations. Perkins, the de facto point guard. Sabonis creating, muscling his way in for two.
That's a big-time move. He catches it a little bit off the block. He turns quickly, rips the ball through. You don't, quite frankly, you don't see high school kids coming into college with that type of footwork and that decision-making. And he's got the strength to take some contact. And like you said, Sam, finish through it. Very, very impressive move.
Grant Guinness able to get the ball for Gonzaga, for the alternating possession. He jumped in there. Gonzaga basketball. One of those hustle plays you like to see, even especially with 5 minutes to play in a ball game, and this game well in hand. Griffin draws it back out.
2-3 zone here from the Hornets.
Perkins short on the three. Sabonis, I don't know how he got the angle to.
Well, you know what he does? You know what he does is he goes after everything with two hands. It's such a simple concept, but you watch so many bigs, quite frankly, players try to slap the ball into their hands, and they end up losing so many basketballs that way. Every time there's a ball in this area, he goes after it with two hands. It could be a pass, a rebound, a loose ball. Just a small thing that maybe you wouldn't notice on a regular basis, but all those little small things he does well right now at his age add up to a really good player. 8
rebounds for the young Sabonis to go with 12 points. Inside of 5 minutes. Again, it's a nice feed. Oh, what a silky smooth move. Sabonis slipping and slithering through traffic with the spin and the finish.
14, 8 rebounds, 3 on the offensive end, all in 20 minutes.
Graves with a 3 from the corner on the other end. Gonzaga 10 away from the century mark. Griffin draws a foul as he drives near the basket. So that is 5 now on Alex Tiffin. So the third Hornet to exit the ball game after fouling out. So as he exits, it's time for us to announce our Subway sub of the game.
Not a tough call, Sam.
Right?
I'm going to say Sabonis, and I'm going to say it's going to be often this year. 14 points on 6 of 9 from the field. Knocked down both his free throws, which you'd love to see. 8 rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive end. A couple of assists, an excellent job recognizing double teams and doing it all in 20 minutes.
Tommy told us, remember, on the sideline, he said, Dolan's telling him, hey, I feel like I'm going to puke. He doesn't look like he's doing too rough right now. He looks like he's
talked to the staff,
himself.
And I thought, Brian Michelson, he said this. He's professional in his approach. They're not worried about his mindset, if he's paying attention, his work ethic. And boy, I tell you what, that's awfully nice to have as a staff.
Subway sub of the game brought to you by your local Subway restaurants. Stop on in today, add bacon to your favorite sub or chopped salad. Bring on the bacon today at your local Subway. Subway, eat fresh. Nunez off the miss, trying to maintain that dribble. Lost it eventually to Jackson. Transition 3, Graves knocks it down. Just the 4th three-pointer made by Sacramento State for the ball game on 13 attempts. Nunez likes the matchup, puts the right hand up, no good. He goes to the line shooting 2. And folks, we'll take the timeout. 3:38 to play, 90.
Gonzaga, they hang on to win it against Portland State. A big second half by Ronny Turioff. 98-80, the final here.
And that was almost 10 years to the day. It was known then as the new kennel. We just know it as the kennel now.
Well, I played in the old kennel, Sam, so I still think this is the new one. Have some respect. I'm just kidding. It's amazing.
Have some respect for the old
kennel.
Have
some respect for us old dogs. I tell you what, it is remarkable what a small school in Spokane, Washington has been able to do over the last 15, 20 years. And you just look at this building and everything that went into making the decision to build it, and the history that's in this program and in this building is really something fans should be proud of.
Nunez misses the second free throw, 3.5 to play, 91-47. No look pass from Graves. They good on that shot. Look who's into the ball game, by the way. Dustin Triano, red shirt. He's onto the floor for the first time this season. Dranginis for three. Good. 10 3-pointers for the ball game for Gonzaga, and the rout continues. It feels like the old kennel right now, doesn't it?
Hey, it's not just fans. The students wait for this all summer, and they've really brought it tonight. It's been a great atmosphere.
And Triano gathers the rebound. Nunez baseline, almost went hard to the rack. Foul called on Graves. Have to look up every time just to make sure another Hornet hasn't fouled out. He's all right. That's his
They're
first.
adding up. They're adding up. There's no doubt.
There's head coach Brian Katz. Had a chance to talk to him earlier this week. And then I saw him in practice after that. Asked him what he thought of this kennel. He said, this is absolutely perfect. This is exactly the right size, the right atmosphere. And you know, it's a trade-off. You see the newer arenas now, and he was talking about playing at UCLA last year. Angel Nunez at the line, ready to shoot two. The game well in hand. 2 minutes, 37 seconds remaining. Rem Bakamus has found his way onto the floor as well. His first minutes of this season. That was the only one free throw, so there we go. Hey, take a look. It's time to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. No job too big or too small. With 7 convenient locations, we rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. Who is it?
It's Wilcher, obviously. It's, we get another Connor Griffin highlight there, but back to Kyle. What a debut for a guy who's sat out basically 18 months. 6 of 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds along with 18 points, and do a lot of other little things. 1 assist, couple rebounds, couple blocks, a steal. What a wonderful piece, and what a great piece in a sense. He fits what they want to do.
Bakamus almost created a turnover. Instead, Sacramento State able to get some points, and now a steal by Graves. Whoa, nice pass. Jackson now will finish with the left-hand lay-in.
Basket by Jackson.
Sacramento State still playing with some heart out there.
Get some freshmen out there. This is valuable minutes. Not a bad place to get your first taste of Division I basketball. Kennel.
Nice cut in, a nice pass by Nunez to Griffin for the finish.
And all 4 bigs. Nunez, Sabonis, off the bench, Wilcher, Karnowski have done an excellent job tonight recognizing double teams and making simple passes that have led to good shots for the Bulldogs.
And we've raved about what Wilcher is doing. Let's not forget about the defense, the tenacity on the boards. They've done it all here as a unit. Nunez leading the break now. He might keep it himself the right hand as he goes back and forth with the hands. And in 100 for Gonzaga with just over a minute to play. Nunez, but it came after the foul.
So Bakamus on the reach.
Picks it up.
Well, we talked about it, Sam, before coming into the game and tonight on the broadcast. How would G rebound and defend this year? Well, this is a great way to start. Plus 19 on the glass and holding Sacramento State to 34% from the field on the ball game. And during crunch time, that number was a lot lower. So a great way to start the year in both on the glass and defensively.
Sacramento State trailing this one 100-52 as we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Hornets, brought to you again by Alaska Airlines. Gets a little easier after this, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's still
just
on the
a
road,
skosh.
UC Riverside, but there's a real opportunity for them to get a good sense of what they have, particularly when you get McKinney back. This is a team that's going to be awfully competitive in the Big Sky.
Perkins, the athletic take, no good. Griffin leaping through the gym, almost came through with that one. Graves now outnumbered, kicks out, transition 3. Jade Ubaje, no good. I knew we'd get to say his name sooner or later. You're not going to say it, are you?
I have too much respect for him to try.
He's a freshman out of San Francisco. Interesting that all the guys who suited up here this evening for Sacramento State, all in-state guys from California.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Well,
there's suiting up.
Suiting up. That's why Herrick didn't suit up today.
Now you thought
I
you were
almost
catch
got
me.
you there.
You
Almost got you
He's
there.
from Nevada.
You were pitching a perfect game tonight, and I thought I had something on him.
Well, there's still 33 seconds. There's plenty of time, Foxy. Ubaje makes the free throw. You're still not going to say his name.
It's Ubaje.
There you go. Rick that one, but a long rebound by Triano. Gonzaga can now hold for the final shot. Triano says, you know what, I want to get a three in there. No good. Griffin over the back.
Nope.
Will be on Sacramento State's Jackson. So Travis Jackson picks up the foul. Boy, Griffin was outnumbered 4-1 there.
That kid flies around. No regard for his body. To see him in person, he's a big kid, and he's so athletic.
And a football player's body, too.
This is a kid 10 years ago would be in the rotation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that athleticism, and he gets the game. He knows all the spots. He can guard. Shows you how good this program has become and how much talent they have.
I'll tell you, again, deep 1 through 10. Folks, we're 10 seconds away from this one being over. And that's what you would like to see, huh? Just the hustle play. Square up those 2 feet. Lay him down in concrete, let him blow right through you.
Only way he knows how to play.
Perkins going to try to dribble this one out. And with 3.3 to play, Perkins gets to go to the line. Tell you, with this young man, Perkins, it's going to be an awfully bright future for this young man.
Oh, man, that's a word. It's going to be a big-time piece of the puzzle, not only this year, but for the 4 years he's in the program.
3 at the horn by Jackson, the lone bright spot in this one for Sacramento.